All right, so here we go. Another practice round with the Discmania bag for Lost Island. And this is going to help with round 3 of the DGVPT and also with the Beating Bam event if you haven't done that yet. So this hole just depends on what the wind's doing. In a calm wind, I'm probably just going to go paradigm and throw it basically right at the basket. But with this wind, I really like the PD2. Even in this strong wind, it's still going to fight its way back, so I don't want to aim right at it. We're still going to aim on this right side, and then just a straight pull down and let it kind of fight that wind and make its way over to the basket. I really like this disc in any sort of a left to right wind. I really love this disc, period, man. As soon as I get it, I'm pretty confident I can find a spot for it in my bag somewhere. I like it that much. Next hole, this one, we'll see what the wind is doing. Just a calm one wind, so even if it's a headwind, the PD should get through just fine. So I'm going to use my same line with the Sapphire, just kind of the right side of that middle chevron. I just kind of line up with that tree, if that makes sense. And then the middle part of the chevron pointing at the top of the rock there inside the opening. So that's kind of my aim point. With the PD, I'm going to put a little bit of anhyzer just because it's more stable than the Sapphire. Sapphire, it's pretty straight pull down, so I'll put about that much anhyzer, and it should get us right through the gap. You can see this trying to fade back, and that almost cost me. So about a disc of anhyzer is probably going to be beneficial for the PD with that aim point. 46, just make sure I get it there. And there we go, back-to-back birdies. Not going to be running either of those holes, just going for birdie. This next hole, though, we are going to be running. Got a big wind. I'm kind of nervous if I go right at it that we're going to end up in the water, but we're going to take our chances. So slide to the right. We're going to aim usually on top of this rock. And usually I aim lower with the glide skip drive, but the DD1, I'm going to aim middle chevron on the rock. We're going to aim a little bit over this way. And we'll go straight pull from here and let the wind just kind of take it. Maybe a touch of hyzer just to slowly combat that wind. Hopefully this starts to hyzer a little earlier. Oh man. You can tell I'm just not as used to flippy skippy, so I probably needed about a disc of hyzer on that shot with that line. So unfortunately not going to get much of a much of a look here. 189. I don't think the Logic can make it. The drop though, I think the drop might be a good option here. I think it can make it on a forehand actually. Let's try this out. It's going to take every bit of it. It's going to be stable. Let's go about that much. Drop, drop. Why don't you drop? That's the whole point of being a drop, is that you drop into the basket. So pretty good shot there. Just didn't quite have my aim right and caught it a little bit too high on the band. But ideally you want to get a little closer on that for an eagle look. This one, a couple different ways to play this. You can lay up with the instinct, but I really like this power down paradigm option. So check this out. So we got a left to right 2 wind. So we're going to go straight up from default. We're going to aim pretty high, about right here, where the basically that, see that tree starts to kind of the green part of the tree. So the bottom of that from default. And then we're going to power it down. So that second to last Wi-Fi symbol is going to be where the top of the disc stops. About right there. And this should be, it's going to start fading on us and hit the water just right. So I really like this shot. I tried it quite a bit when I first practiced this hole. And it's a great option for this hole, so you don't have to worry about any sort of a throw-in. Up to you though, but that's how I'm going to be playing that hole, because I like it a lot. So birdie there. This one, not going to be trying anything too cute. The PD2 is probably going to be too much. The paradigm, although it might be a little short, I still like it. And with this wind, I'm going to probably put some hyzer on it just because I don't want it to finish off too far left. I want it to fade. And with this disc, you got to put some hyzer on it if you want it to fade. And even that almost didn't quite get around, so I'd prefer being right than left, but we should be able to make this work. Pretty easy little shot over the top with the drop. Don't have to put much on this at all. And it'll end up down there by the basket. Oh no. Ooh, that was almost an unfortunate little roll away. So there's birdie there. So far, the only thing I wish I had done different is get a little better eagle look on 3. Other than that, we're playing pretty solid, and hopefully these lines are helping you out. This one, DD1, I usually throw the rive, so I got to really compensate. Usually I slide to the right with the rive, but I'm going to slide left, and we're going to take, let's see, what did I can't remember if it's bottom chevron. I think it's the top chevron, or the bottom chevron, sorry. Normally I go with the middle chevron. We're going to go bottom chevron, slide it down just to where it makes contact with that little spike on the left. And then from here we're going to put a disc of hyzer. And I think that's what I had planned. Looks pretty, that's way too far right. The one thing I like about this disc on this hole is it's easier to keep it left to this mound. I just put a little too much hyzer on it because I'm worried about the water, but 194. Don't think the logic can make it. PD can or the drop can definitely make it, but I think it's going to be too much with the glide. So I think we're going to go with a kind of a powered down MD1. Let's try this out. Got to remember that it's more stable than the fuse. And that looks about right. Straight pull. Don't think I need quite all the power. Let's go about right there. Is it going to fade enough? Oh, I had great power to it. I just a little overcompensated a little bit, thinking it was more overstable than it was. Still a decent bid, but I'd prefer being left of that mound there. So just not quite as much hyzer on that tee shot. This one, I usually go backhand, but since it's a glide PD, I don't like the backhand approach. I'm going to go forehand. We're going to go middle chevron, right even with the basket symbol. And then we're going to do a little bit more than half a power of anhyzer. And this can be an ace run, but it should be a pretty safe play as well, although this is a little too far left. Is it going to kiss off? Oh no, we might get lucky. So I need a little more air under that, or just not as much anhyzer. We got away with it though, but I think the forehand PD is the play there. Get our birdie. So far we have a mistake-free round. No bonus strokes, but that's what this hole is for. So I'm going to go with my regular line that I usually throw the turn glide rive. There's probably easier lines out there, especially with the DD1, but this is what I'm going to do. It's a way to stay away from that tree. So you see this little V right here in the ground. So I just put the bottom chevron just above that. I'm going to go a little higher just because this doesn't quite have the lift that the rive does. I'm going to do similar anhyzer, a little bit more than half. Is it going to turn enough? This is a little more left than I like, but as long as it hits this hill just right, it should stay safe. Don't go in there. Okay, we're going to get lucky here. So I needed just a little bit more turn on that. But I like that I can use the same line that I'm used to. So let's see here. I want to try to get the eagle here. I'm going to just put a touch of hyzer just to make sure it doesn't go in the water. And hopefully it skips down this left side. This should be good for an eagle. Oh yeah. So a little DD1 times 2 on this hole. Ideally you can get a little better tee shot and then not really need it on the second shot, but it worked out just fine and we get the eagle. Now we just have one hole left, and it depends on what the wind's doing as far as what I decide to do on this hole. So with this wind, the safe play would be the forehand paradigm, but I'm tempted to get a little look at it here and go with the DD1 since it is very straight. I feel pretty good about it. So we're going to go right at this tree here. I'm going to go middle chevron at the base of the tree. And I think a straight pull down from here should do us pretty good. It's going to turn and then go pretty straight. I don't normally throw backhand on this hole, but because this disc flies so straight, I felt much better about it. Oh man. That was unfortunate. We threw a great shot, and we get that kind of a skip. So I like the line, but unfortunately it didn't really show us the potential there. We might have had a decent look. But with this one, because of how far uphill it is, I feel better about the PD than the instinct. Instinct's just going to be a little short here. So let's just throw it and let it fade into the mouth, hopefully. That's the plan. A little bit right of where I was hoping to go, unfortunately. So we're going to have to work for our birdie. I was hoping to get inside those teeth, but I went right into it. 56 feet though, should be able to make that a little uphill. Aim on the right side of the chains there. And there we go, there's Lost Island. So nice round. I would have liked to get one more eagle in there, but can't get too greedy. I'll take a 10 under on Lost Island with that bag. Hopefully this helps, and as always, thanks for watching me play some DGV.